If you've never been to Crested Butte before, picture a classic Western mountain town, a main street that's maybe 4 or 5 blocks long, many cars with bike racks and thousands of dollars of bikes hanging from them. And as I walk down the street about 9 a.m. to go get breakfast, I hear these two guys talking. And it's a conversation that when I was in corporate, I initiated many, many times. I've been part of these conversations with friends and clients. And here were two strangers on the street talking about one guy telling his bud that he's getting no direction from his leaders. When he prioritizes his work and shares it with his leaders, they tell him that no, his priorities are wrong. He's sharing that he is doing much more work than everybody else, take that with a grain of salt, but ultimately didn't have the resources to be successful. And as I was walking away, I was like, man, this is like wash, rinse, repeat. It seems like in so many walks of professional life, this is the norm, where either the employee doesn't understand what's expected of them and/or leadership is not setting clear expectations. And it begs the question, why is this the norm? What is going on out there that we have such shitty leadership and/or employees that don't hear well, or that both sides don't speak up? And I had to look over here because I was looking about that famous line, we have a failure to communicate, from Cool Hand Luke. And what it also dawned on me is that part of my upbringing in my house was we spoke up, oftentimes not with a lot of empathy or care, but we spoke up. And it's part of who I am, is speaking up is not terribly difficult for me. And yet the more I coach, the more I lead professional development groups, the more I realize that speaking up, providing feedback, sharing what's going on is not the norm. And so as I see this divide between maybe poor leadership, maybe poor listening, all sorts of things that are poor, at the very middle, at the center of all of this is communication. And so if you are feeling anything of what I'm sharing, you're a leader who's not being heard, you're an employee that's not being heard, your boundaries or your guardrails or what's expected to you is unknown, if you feel overworked, if you don't know what's expected of you, whatever it is, I have to beg you, encourage you, speak up, ask questions, get clarity. So that's my challenge for you today. Ask the question you've been meaning to ask, but been holding yourself back on. Ask the question today. See ya.